Buuza Kamisona.
Welcome to today's program, Buuza Kamisona. And today we are going to start with a question from a gentleman called Wasoma Joseph from Kileka. And Joseph here asked, what is the criteria of counting the amount of money or tax to pay? What is behind putting a lot of different taxes on one business? Dear Joseph, although the taxes seem to be many, I would like us to delve into the nature and the structure of our tax system. And you realize that the actual taxes that are paid by the business are not that many. Let's start our discussion today by demonstrating something on the nature of our taxes. Taxes can broadly be categorized into two big categories. The first category is what we call the direct taxes. And direct taxes, these are taxes borne directly by the businesses. And under this broad category, you have income tax. And income tax can take many names and shapes depending on who is paying this tax. But the other broad category of taxation is what we call indirect taxes. And indirect taxes, which are sometimes called consumption taxes, are taxes paid by the final consumer, not the business in particular, although the business will collect and account for these taxes and pass them on. So consumption taxes or indirect taxes also are many, and we are going to look at them. But let's start with the income tax, because this is the one that deals with individual businesses. Under income tax, we have what we call corporate income tax, CIT. We have what we call pay as you earn, or payee. We have what we call individual income tax. We have what we call or personal income tax. Individual income tax can also be called personal income tax. Then we also have withholding tax. This is income tax paid in advance. Then we have what we call rental income tax. For purposes of space, I'm writing these in short, but we will do a publication where we write these in full. Now, these are not all taxes paid by one business, but if you're a company, you'll pay income tax as corporate income tax. If you're an employee of that company, you'll pay as you earn or payee. If you're an individual, you'll pay personal income tax. Personal income tax, PIT. If you are an individual or a company and anybody who pays you withholds some of your income, it is income tax paid in advance. When you're filing the return at the end of the year, you'll take credit for that. And if you have a rental property and you're paying rental income tax as an individual or as a company, you'll pay this. So as you can see, the broad sense of direct taxes is income tax, and it is the only tax that is paid directly by the company. But what are the examples of the indirect taxes that sometimes companies pay, but they are not borne directly by the individuals or the companies? Take an example of customs taxes. When you're importing goods, you will pay import duty, you will pay excise duty, if they're excisable goods, you'll pay infrastructure levy. But all these are indirect taxes. Why? By the time you cost your goods, before you sell them to the final consumer, you will take care of these taxes. They will build up to the cost of the goods you're going to sell. Another category of indirect taxes is VAT, or value-added tax. Yes, the company will collect this tax, but it will be borne by the consumer who buys these goods from you. The other one is local excise duty. Again, this will be put on the cost of the goods that you're going to sell. Therefore, the question from my brother Joseph asking, why do companies pay so many taxes? Yes, the company will pay income tax as a direct cost to the company. But the rest of the taxes the company will withhold, even including pay as you earn, because this is directed from the salaries of employees, will not be a direct cost to the company. It will be an allowable, it will be a collection they've done on behalf of URA, say VAT or local excise duty, and it should not hurt the company.
Buuza Kamisona. Buuza Kamisona.
Now, let me just take a moment to explain how, because he asked the other reason, how do you calculate? So he asked, why are there many taxes? Then number two, how do you compute the taxes? Now, for income tax, as an example, the shorthand for individual income tax, which is personal income tax. For this individual income tax, there is a threshold below which you do not pay any tax. So any individual who earns an income that is below 2 million, because the basis for this calculation is based on a monthly income, 820,000, this individual will pay nil tax. And if you want to compute this on a monthly, this is equivalent to someone who earns 235,000 per month. Per month. The way we have an exemption, when your income is above this, but is below 4,020,000. So you are above, an individual X here earns above 2.82, but is also below 4,020,000. Okay? This individual will be taxed at a rate of only 10%. So for you to calculate the tax of this person, let me go to the next page. So my gross income is 4 million. 4 million, and I hope we understand what we mean by gross income, because we will get all our income in a given year, take off all expenses that relate to earning that income. So an example, if you're a trader, you'll take off the cost of your goods. You'll take off the cost of your rent. You'll take off the cost of your power. You'll take off the cost of your salaries. And after you have removed all those costs that relate to your business, then what remains is gross profit. And out of that gross profit, you pay an income tax of only 10%. This one will pay. And how do we calculate this 10%? First, we get the 4 million we have earned as a gross profit in a given financial year. We subtract the 2,820,000, which is the exempt threshold, because government wants everyone to take this benefit. And what remains here is 0.00008 Here there was 9 left, 1, and here 1. So when we remain with 1,180,000, this is what is taxable. And out of this, we will only charge 10%. So times 10%. 10% means it's 10 over 100. So this one goes, this one goes. And what do you stay with? 100. What stays is 100. 100,000. 100,018. So somebody who earns a gross income or gross profit, of 4 million will only pay tax of 118,000. And if you're a business owner, you have sorted your obligation for the whole year. So supposing we have someone who, after all their expenses, their gross profit per annum is 4,900,000. They will definitely be falling in this range where an individual earns more than 4 million, but less than 4.92. Okay? And here, the formula that is used is that you will pay, first you will pay 120, and then you will add 20% of the amount that is in excess of the other lower threshold, which was here, 4.020,000. Okay? So for this person, you'll pay 120,000 plus your income now, which is 4.9 minus 4.02 4.02, and this one will be times 20%, meaning 20 over 100. And you can also do this calculation. This is 120,000, 120,000, plus this minus this times 20%. 900 minus 20,000, the balance is 880,000. Then times 20%. So what does this come to? It comes to 0, 0, 0, 16. We take 1, 17. 16 plus 1, 17. 176 plus our 120,000. What does this come to? This one comes to 0, 0, 0. Okay. 6, 9, 2. So somebody who has a gross profit of 4.9 in a whole year, you will pay less than 300,000, 296, and you will have sorted your obligation.
Buuza Kamisona. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
I'd like to thank all our clients, our valued taxpayers, the people that we serve as we collect revenue for building our nation. I thank you very much for the questions you have sent through this program of Buuza Kamisona. On behalf of URA, I would like to pledge that we are committed and we will continue to answer all the questions that you ask through this platform. The whole purpose for this program is to ensure that your pain points your questions are efficiently responded to. So I would like to encourage all our taxpayers who have questions to ask to please utilize this program that we are running on UBC, that will be receiving your questions through the numbers that you've been given, and URA will be available to answer these questions every Monday and every Wednesday during the 8 o'clock news bulletin. And then on Sunday, after the news, we'll have a full response to all the questions that will have come in during the week. I thank UBC for supporting us in reaching our taxpayers, and I thank our taxpayers for responding positively to this program. Thank you very much.
Buuza Kamisona.